I'll handle this one, Vegeta. I do not want you interfering.
The reason Piccolo wanted to fight Dr. Gero personally right here is because while the Z Fighters were looking for Dr. Gero, he personally ambushed Piccolo. And Piccolo only survived, I believe, because Gohan rescued him. So he has a grudge to settle with Dr. Gero right now. Which of course is why we're fighting him as Vegeta. Anyway, Gero obviously loses horribly, and gets his arm chopped off. Which again surprises him, just like he was surprised by the Super Saiyans, because nobody's supposed to be this powerful. And he didn't go to Namek, so he couldn't have known that Piccolo fused with Nail. It just goes to show that no matter how much you prepare to fight your adversary, no matter how ridiculously, obsessively, compulsively prepared you are, you're not really ready until you make the assumption that they've been transported to another planet for the last few months and have turned into demigods while they were there. I mean, really, I'm not sure how Dr. Gero couldn't have seen this coming.
Soon you'll all be dead.
While this confrontation technically did happen, I believe at the time Dr. Gero was way more concerned with getting back to his lab than actually fighting Krillin. And Krillin followed Dr. Gero back to his lab and raised his power level so that way the Z Fighters would follow him. You saw Trunks just randomly appeared in the last cutscene. They cut out all of Trunks' dialogue where he says, "Hey, these aren't the androids from the future." Which I thought that was kind of an important moment, but maybe not so much in this game, because they made us play History of Trunks where we already saw what the androids look like. While in the manga, you didn't get to see what they look like until Dr. Gero activated them. Which he is currently on his way to do after Krillin gets done kicking his ass. You may also notice that Dr. Gero still has his arm intact, because they didn't bother to make different character models for that. Can't really blame them, because this game was obviously made on an incredibly small budget, as has been stated before. Quality assurance kind of seemed like it had to be done very quickly, so it's impressive that the game turned out so well.
Your friends can't possibly arrive in time to help.
I'd really like it if you tell me where you think you're going.
We're going to find Goku and kill him.
So it's true. But you're not going anywhere. I'm going to see to that personally.
Are all Saiyans this foolish? Or are you just in a hurry to die?
That's big talk for a piece of junk like you. I'll break you!
How boring. Oh, I know. 16. Why don't you show us what you can do?
No.
All right, I'll handle this.
I'll warn you, I won't go easy on you just because you're a woman. If a bucket of bolts like you can actually be called a woman.
Still, I'm surprised. You're much stronger than Dr. Gero's data would suggest. I suppose we'll just have to be extra careful now, won't we?
I can't tell whether or not these puppets have taken any damage. I suppose the only way to know for sure is to smash them into pieces! He's much quicker than I expected.
I feel it's very strange that they wasted one of their big cutscenes on that. That was not a very memorable moment in the series. They could have used that big cutscene to show Android 17 decapitating and killing Dr. Gero instead. That would have been a lot more impactful, I think. Because that's actually a character building moment for the androids. Not so much Dr. Gero since he died, but Android 17 and 18 at least. We did get Android 16 just flat out telling Android 18 no, he's not going to fight, which is important. Android 16 doesn't care about fighting anybody but Goku. And that's really important to keep in mind right now. Unfortunately, a lot of Android 16's character building is not present in this game, but it's not present in a lot of the adapted media. But you already know this game isn't the place to come for a faithful retelling.
Darn it!
That fool!
So what happens is Trunks sees his dad get his ass kicked, and Trunks gets upset, and then Tien gets upset, and then Piccolo gets upset that Tien's about to be murdered, and everybody gets killed by the androids, the end. Or they almost get killed. The androids intentionally leave Krillin alone and let Krillin heal everyone so that way they may fight everyone again later. If you're wondering how Krillin healed everyone, the answer is of course with Senzu beans. That's always the answer. But yes, this fight was basically just a big clusterfuck and all the good guys lost. I do believe that the androids asked Android 16 again to join in the fight, but he said no a second time. The funny thing is that even though things are really terrible and everyone's losing at this point, things still get way worse, like immediately after this. There's no waiting. Everything terrible has to happen all at once. This fight is actually reasonably challenging because Android 17 can refill his health automatically, and we also have to deal with Android 18. That also makes it a rather long fight. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, Vegeta's arm is totally broken right now. The status of things at this moment could be described as pretty poopy.
finish!